In a time before humans, alien civilizations were exploring the universe. On Samaris, a dad named Mills watches his daughter Naveen on the beach. He tells his wife Alya he's taken a long space job to pay for Naveen's medical treatment. Mills then teaches Naveen a special whistle, sharing his upcoming trip details with her. Later, he pilots a spaceship carrying a sleeping crew. Suddenly, meteorites strike, severely damaging the ship. Mills sends a distress signal and tries to land on a nearby planet. The ship splits into two, crashes, and Mills blacks out, with thoughts of Naveen in his mind. He awakens injured and removes a piece of metal from his stomach. After dressing his wound, he investigates the damaged ship and finds the crew dead. He spots a mysterious creature swimming around the wreckage. Discovering the escape pod is missing, he sends another SOS. He's stuck on an unknown planet. Mills, feeling trapped and hopeless, almost uses his gun on himself. But, thinking of his daughter Naveen stops him. He plays some tapes with Naveen's messages just to hear her voice. Suddenly, the computer finds a working pod nearby. Rushing over, Mills finds Koa, a passenger, alive inside. He quickly frees her. On their way back, Mills sees a massive paw print. He realizes they're on Earth, but millions of years in the past, amidst dinosaurs. They return to the ship as night comes. Mills dreams of Naveen asking where he is. The next day, he's resolved to escape and save Koa. He tries to find the other half of the ship using the computer, but can't. Going outside, he finds large bones signifying dangerous predators. Unexpectedly, a geyser erupts near him. Recovering from the surprise, he spots a shine from a far mountain. It's the other half of the ship. As Mills plans their route, a small dinosaur attacks. He fights it off, killing it with his gun. Hearing noises from the woods, he realizes Koa has disappeared from the ship. Seeing him, Koa starts running and Mills chases her until they both tumble down a ledge, landing near a large dead dinosaur. Out of nowhere, a strange rustling of the trees begins. A sense of dread seizes Mills as he spots a colossal creature lumbering in their direction. Acting instinctively, he wraps his arms around Koa and yanks her back towards the safety of their spaceship. Inside the ship, Mills attentively cares for Koa's wound, a painful memento from her fall. Simultaneously, he attempts to describe the peril they're in. But he soon realizes a barrier between them. They don't share a common language, and the ship's translation tool is unfortunately out of order. Refusing to let this communication problem deter him, Mills innovates. He uses a vivid red powder to draw a detailed picture of a mountain on a tablet. He emphasizes the mountain's importance, trying to explain that reaching it is their only way out of this predicament. Koa, demonstrating her understanding, joins in and sketches figures resembling her parents. In an attempt to alleviate her anxiety, Mills, although he doesn't know their whereabouts, reassures her that her family is also waiting at the mountain. Later, as the tension momentarily subsides, Mills sends out another distress signal. This time, he shares the news of finding a fellow survivor in this hostile alien environment. In the meantime, Koa stumbles upon the archived video messages of a woman named Naveen. As she delves into them one by one, a sad story unfolds. In the early days of Mills' journey, Naveen's illness, unfortunately, took a turn for the worse. The deteriorating condition led to her being hospitalized. Initially, her messages were filled with joy and pride for her brave father. But as time wore on, the messages took a sorrowful turn. Naveen's pride transformed into resentment as she grappled with the reality of her father's prolonged absence. When Mills stumbles upon Koa immersed in these somber records, he immediately cuts off the playback. With a stern voice, he announces it's time to leave the ship. Ensuring they have sufficient supplies packed for their uncertain journey ahead, Mills and Koa venture out into the wild. They tread carefully, maintaining their silence to evade attracting the attention of the lurking predators. Mills and Koa journey together, growing closer each time he assists her. One day, Koa spots a strange red light in the sky but says nothing. Koa, tired of walking, decides to throw berries at Mills to annoy him. He scans the berries and warns her they're poisonous. A big bug lands on Mills' neck, and killing it leaves a sticky mess on his hand. He tries to wipe it on a tree but ends up with bark stuck to him, causing Koa to laugh. Mills tries to touch her with his dirty hand, but they stop playing when a tree falls near them. They hear strange noises and find a small dinosaur trapped in a sticky pit. Despite Mills' warnings, Koa helps the dinosaur. He reluctantly aids her to speed up the process. The dinosaur is soon killed by predators, leaving Koa distraught. Mills hides her from the gruesome sight. They continue their journey, pausing at a waterfall to clean and refill their water supply. Mills is concerned about his stomach wound, but seeing Koa reminds him of Naveen, giving him strength. Koa finds flowers and convinces Mills to wear one. Suddenly, Mills' scanner loses the mountain's location. He climbs a tree to rescan the area and find their way again. Mills suddenly feels an unwanted tickle on his hand. It's a bug. In his haste to flick it away, he jolts his arm, breaking the branch he's leaning on. He tumbles down, landing awkwardly, and dislocates his arm. In the midst of their isolation, a sound pierces the quiet, the footfall of dinosaurs approaching them. Koa rushes to his aid, using her strength to push his arm against a tree. The goal is to fix the dislocated arm back into its socket. Mills, bearing the pain, signals Koa to step on his arm for a final, swift push. Once his arm is back in place, he doesn't waste a second. He retrieves his gun and tells Koa to run for safety. As Koa dashes away, Mills sets off a series of small, potent explosives. The sudden blasts annihilate half of the encroaching dinosaur pack. The rest, undeterred, spring at Mills. He retaliates, felling them one by one with targeted shots. Simultaneously, Koa is facing her own problems. A swarm of flying dinosaurs descends near her. She begins to crawl, hoping to blend in with the undergrowth and find refuge behind a large tree. Her effort proves futile as the beasts track her down. Just when the dinosaurs are about to pounce on her, Mills emerges from nowhere, eliminating all of them in a timely rescue. The danger is not over yet. A camouflaged dinosaur jumps out, snatching Koa away with its tail. Mills chases after them without missing a beat, frightening the beast away with a warning shot. It leaves Koa paralyzed with fear. Seeing her shaken, Mills backs off, giving her the space she needs. When dusk begins to creep in, Mills resorts to an old trick to comfort Koa. He whistles, just like he used to for his daughter Naveen. This familiar sound seems to have a calming effect on Koa, and she responds with her own family's unique whistle. Accepting Mills' company once again, she agrees to push forward. After what feels like an eternity, they find a cave to spend the night. Mills takes extra precautions, setting up sensors that will alert them of any looming threats. He then takes out his scanner to survey the night sky, spotting a meteorite close by. It's small in size, thus not posing any immediate danger. Amidst all this, Koa surprises Mills by revealing that she is one of Naveen's tapes. Initially, Mills reacts with anger, but he softens and plays the tape. Naveen's familiar voice radiates comfort, providing solace to both Koa and Mills in this challenging environment. Mills, unable to sleep, is haunted by the memory of Alya's message informing him of Naveen's death. Tears flow as he mourns his daughter. Later, danger alerts jolt him awake. Checking on Koa, he finds a bug in her mouth and quickly eliminates it. Koa coughs out the residue. Just then, the alarms blare loudly. A giant dinosaur appears outside the cave. Shooting at it, Mills and Koa escape through a small opening at the back. Unbeknownst to them, a smaller dinosaur is tailing them. They wander through tight passages, only to hit a dead end. Mills attempts to widen a small gap between two rocks, but progress is slow and he gives up. Koa is angry and urges him to try again, repeatedly saying family. Mills, trying to explain their demise, realizes she doesn't understand him. Struck by an idea, he uses bombs to widen the gap enough for a child, giving the remaining bombs to Koa for safety. Koa navigates the narrow passage and signals room on the other side. Mills attempts to follow, but the passage collapses, cutting off contact with Koa. Frustrated, he yells in desperation. Hearing the approaching dinosaur, he grabs his gun and retreats to the previous cave, scanning for the dinosaur's location. When a monster tries to sneak up on Mills, he's ready and starts to fire his gun. But the dinosaur knocks him over and he loses his gun. The beast bites Mills' arm, but he fights back until he reaches his device and turns on a high-pitched noise that hurts the dinosaur's ears. This gives Mills a chance to grab his gun and kill the creature. Meanwhile, Koa has ventured into the forest. Alone in the forest, Koa finds a big bone which she can use for protection. She covers it with poisonous berries and a big leaf and stores it in her bag. Soon after, Mills gets out of the cave. When he sees a large meteorite coming closer, he uses his device to find out that an even bigger meteorite is coming. It's going to hit in a few hours and cause a huge disaster. Mills starts to look for Koa and hears her scream when a dinosaur gets close. Koa hides inside a hollow tree while Mills runs towards her. But he trips and falls into a pit filled with quicksand. He tries to call for Koa, but he keeps sinking and can't speak. Koa hears Mills and decides to act. She waits for the dinosaur to get close before she throws her bone weapon at it and runs. The dinosaur is killed and Koa can safely get to the quicksand to help Mills. After pulling him out, they hug and Mills tells Koa about the meteorite. They need to get moving quickly. In the evening, they get to the bottom of a mountain. Mills ties a rope around Koa and she climbs up first. She ties the rope carefully so it can hold Mills' weight when he climbs up. Soon, they find the other half of the ship. Mills checks the computer and finds out a rescue ship is coming. Koa looks for her family and finds all the broken sleeping chambers. She is mad at Mills for lying to her. As she cries, Mills shows her a picture of his daughter, Naveen, and explains he lost her while he was working. He says he can't let it happen again. Koa cries with Mills as he says sorry for everything. Suddenly, pieces of the meteorite start to fall. Mills and Koa run to get inside the emergency pod. Just as Mills was about to activate the launch, a meteorite struck the ship. The impact made the pod tumble down the mountain, knocking both Mills and Koa unconscious. Koa recovered first and tried to launch the pod, but the computer said it couldn't do so because of the tilted position. As Mills started to regain consciousness, a massive dinosaur appeared and began attacking the pod. The laser gun had fallen away, and Mills had to risk going out to retrieve it, only to find it not working. With a second dinosaur joining the fray, Mills sought cover behind a piece of the ship to fix the gun. With the dinosaurs closing in on him, Koa used a tape of Naveen to project a hologram of her outside the ship. The sight of his daughter moved Mills to tears, thinking he was seeing her for the last time. But the dinosaurs were fooled and attacked the hologram instead. Seizing this chance, Mills stepped out and killed the first dinosaur. The other dinosaur, trying to get to Koa, pushed the ship. Mills quickly shot down the second dinosaur as well. The dinosaur's push had righted the pod for launch. But before Mills could get back to the pod, the dinosaur he'd wounded earlier came back and began to chase him. Mills lured the dinosaur towards the geysers, resulting in a blast of hot water hitting the dinosaur's face. But the beast wasn't much harmed. Suddenly, Koa appeared and stabbed the dinosaur in the eye with a sharpened bone. The injured dinosaur stumbled onto another geyser, and this time the geysers blasted its stomach, killing it. Mills and Koa then returned to the pod and managed to launch just as the meteorite hit Earth, causing the dinosaur extinction. As the pod left the atmosphere, the autopilot set a course for a rescue vessel rendezvous. With home in sight, Mills closed his eyes and imagined reuniting with Naveen. Koa, sensing his emotional state, took his hand for comfort.